Motion failed.
Do you want to do another motion now, Vic?
Sure. Taking into account the comments of the other board members, I would move that we postpone consideration of item number 15 on the agenda. I'm sorry. Yeah, item number 15 for a period of time not to exceed 6 months.
Not to exceed. So it could be less.
Can we have discussion again, though?
I'll support that again.
So you're saying we can handle, take this again next week or the week after, anything?
You need a second.
Basically,
Need a
it's
second?
Within
He
6
seconded.
months, that's the question. That's it.
He did second.
Motion was made by Vic,
Not to exceed.
postpone it not to exceed 6 months,
correct.
seconded by Brad.
Not to exceed 6 months.
Any other discussion on this
I
one?
have a, what's that gonna do? What's that doing for us, Vic? I know what you're trying to do, I know what you're trying to say, Vic, but what I'm trying to do is to give, if somebody, you know, I wanna give them enough time to see if they can mine it or not. Right now, they can't mine it, Vic, they told me the 6 months is not enough, they gotta have at least a year because of the water thing. They gotta do the water sample. I'm not sticking up for them, but I just wanted, at the end of the year, I want them to be able to say yes or no, thank you very much. Let's move on.
Murph, you're right, you gotta give them a chance.
I gotta give them a chance at least a year, but then you either shit or you get off the pot, and somebody else comes in and does it. If they can't mine it.
You gotta set
I
a
wanna
time.
mine.
You gotta set a, you gotta say 30 days, 90 days, whatever, but you can't leave it up in the air again.
I don't wanna leave it in the air, I just
Okay,
want.
I hear what you're saying, Mark, okay? But what you're doing is saying, we're going to wait until the mining company determines what they're going to do, and then we will determine what we want to do for a lease. And I think what we need to do in order to have certainty, both for the mining company and for the county, is that we can come up with the terms of a lease. It may be the same terms, but as Joe said, what Mr. Jacob suggested, we have a committee of the whole, this whole county board. We take a look at this whole lease thing, we can make a decision then, yeah, we're gonna keep the same lease, that could happen. I don't think it will, but it could. But we could also then say, these were the flaws in the old lease. Now, you've all read Jacob's letter, there's a number of flaws in there. Whether Gtac mines or doesn't mine, or somebody else mines or doesn't mine, those flaws need to be corrected. If we correct them in 30 days, so we sit on them. Gtac doesn't have to sign the lease if they don't want to. But I think we need to get a lease put together that this county board is comfortable with, that it protects the county, the taxpayers of the county, and that's it. And now, you could do
But
this in
can't
30
we-
days, you could do it in a year. I mean, pick a time frame that's reasonable.
Instead of trying to do it in the lease agreement, can't we do it in a local agreement?
Yes, we can. That's my point.
Ah, but what do you have? Leslie Colazar.
We've got a beautiful ordinance.
No, Leslie Colazar has talked to me a couple of times and said, make that ordinance so strict, if you will, that it will bring them to a local agreement. There's nothing in the law, the state law, that
There
says
never
they
has
have to come to a local agreement.
There never has been.
And no, I'm not saying that. There has never been there. The only way that you will get the mining company to come to a local agreement where Iron County has some bargaining power is to have something to bargain and negotiate with. Right now, we have, number one, we have no ordinance. Mining is actually not a legal activity in this county right now.
Correct.
So we have to have an ordinance to make it legal, which we're working on. Okay.
And you asked that question, does it have enough teeth to get them to the bargaining table? And I believe the answer was yes.
And I don't think it does, but, well, okay, we're gonna disagree on that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that. But we also need to have some meat, I feel, in the lease agreement, that we have some bargaining chips. That's all. It's something that we are able to negotiate with. All of us have had business deals, we bought and sold property, and you sit down and you're on one area and the other party's in a different area, and you negotiate and come to a meeting. But if you have nothing to negotiate with, then it's a one-sided local agreement.
That's why we gotta get this signed as soon as we can, get this straightened out soon.
So I feel that
Right
to
away.
simply adopt,
I don't need to.
Your motion was to postpone it up to 6 months.
not to exceed 6
Not
months.
to exceed 6
Now,
months.
Joe, you could call a meeting of the whole county board tomorrow and say, we're gonna have a committee of the whole. I would hope it's not that soon, but
I would hope not to.
This whole county board should make a decision.
that's right, I agree.
How many don't work
100%.
out?
Anyway, there's a motion on the floor by Vic to postpone it for up to 6 months, seconded by Brad. I think that's enough discussion. Let's do another roll call on it. Yes is to postpone and no is to whatever.
Mr. Nacy,
Yes. Or no.
what,
Explain that again,
Yes
Joe,
means,
so we know what's going.
yes means to postpone it for up to 6 months, no means to
Move ahead.
move ahead, proceed, whatever.
it'll just fail. It'll fail,
So yes.
so yes.
Say that again?
Yes means to postpone it for up to 6 months. No means to
It'll
move
just fail.
forward.
It'll just fail.
The
Yeah, I'll
motion
change
will
it to
fail.
no.
Now you're changing it to no. Okay.
Okay, now, one more time.
One more time.
What's your vote, George?
No.
Mr. Erickson,
No.
Mr. Ouimet,
Yes.
Mrs. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
No.
Mr. Gtac,
No.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Muller,
Yes.
Mr. Penardi,
No.
Mr. Prospero,
No.
Mr. Young,
No.
Mr. Thomas,
No.
Mr. Koski,
No.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Kroll. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, no, 5 yes. It failed.
Motion failed.